Heading overseas now to the deepening mystery about why a German jet plummeted and crashed into the French Alps, killing everyone on board. In a dramatic but as yet unconfirmed report, the New York Times is claiming that one of the pilots on board the aircraft was locked out of the cockpit in the minutes before the crash. It quotes an unnamed investigator who says the pilot can be heard on the plane's voice recorder trying to smash down the cockpit door. French aviation investigators have confirmed that there are audible voice recordings on the black box that was recovered yesterday, and that these are now being analysed for clues about what went wrong during the flight. Nick Grimm reports.
For a second day, crash scene investigators have been working their way across a mountainside that from above appears strewn with confetti. Thousands of tiny remnants from the crash are strewn over a 4-hectare area. That includes the scattered remains of those who were on board. The CEO of the Lufthansa Group, owner of the budget Germanwing Airline, has described these as the darkest hours of the company's 60-year history.
What happened yesterday morning over the French Alps is still incomprehensible for us, and the whole company and all of our 120,000 people around the world, we're all still in a state of deep shock.
And as the search for answers goes on, preparations are also underway for those who'll come to mourn their lost loved ones. Francois Belic is the mayor of the nearby alpine village of Les Bernets. We're at their disposal, he says. All the residents here are prepared to host the families if need be. We've put everything in place for that purpose. But in the meantime, the airline's executives have travelled to Barcelona in Spain, from where the ill-fated flight departed. It was, they said, to demonstrate their sympathy and solidarity with the families of the victims. Germanwing CEO Thomas Winkelmann promising it will help relatives of the dead travel to the scene from wherever they are in the world.
We have victims from a total of 18 countries. We will fly whoever wants to come to Germany or to France, and we will also support them financially.
Also fronting the media, French President Francois Hollande, who said the world would have to be patient for answers, revealing the search continues for the aircraft's second black box data recorder. The badly damaged casing for the device has been found amongst the wreckage, but its contents are still missing. Still, investigators have been stating publicly they're hopeful of finding some answers on the black box voice recorder found yesterday. Rémi Jauty is director of the French Aviation Accident Investigation Agency.
We just succeeded in getting an audio file which contains usable sounds and voices. We have not yet fully understood and worked on it to be able to say, okay, this is starting at this precise point in flight, this is ending at this precise point in flight, and we hear such person saying that, etc. This is an ongoing work for which we hope to have first rough ideas in a matter of days.
But there are disturbing reports emerging about what that recording might reveal, with the New York Times claiming the cockpit voice recorder reveals one of the pilots left the cockpit and was unable to return. An unnamed investigator is said to have told the newspaper that pilot is heard knocking at the cockpit door and then eventually trying to smash it down. It's also been revealed that the aircraft's manufacturer, Airbus, had issued warnings to airlines 3 months ago that the A320 could go into an uncontrolled dive if onboard sensors malfunction. Australia's Jetstar and Tiger Air are among the airlines to receive the Emergency Airworthiness Directive.
These are basically two metal devices. They look a bit like sticks that move up and down with a little fin on the tail of it. And it tells the computer what is the relative airflow to the nose of the aircraft. So basically, is it pointing up or down?
Dr Stephen Wright is an aviation engineer and lecturer with the University of Leeds in Britain who has trained Lufthansa engineers. He's speaking here to RN Breakfast.
And the problem that I understand it is that ice has been able to build up. And as we can imagine, ice is heavy. Ice will then disrupt the airflow over these sensors, and it will send false information to the computer. And there has been a previous occasion where the information that's been passed back to the computer has told it that the aircraft is flying in an unsafe attitude. It's a smart computer, so it then puts the aircraft into a descent.
That's Dr Stephen Wright, an aviation engineer and lecturer with the University of Leeds in Britain. Nick Grimm with that report.